What is up, guys? Ivan here from getivan.com, and I'd like to welcome you to this video on managing your all messages and list messages tabs at the bottom of my SignalWire dashboard for Google Sheets and Parabola. So these are special sections. They are color-coded orange, which indicates that they are a mix of importing and exporting to and from and to the SignalWire API. The date sent and the page size are importing functions that will import all of this static data. And then the send columns up here are functions for exporting those values into the API, and then the API will actually create text messages. So we have a dedicated Create Messages section, and we'll also be going over the Create Messages section in this video as well, because they're all three connected. If you were to create a large quantity of messages here independently, then you would use one of these two tabs for then viewing any potential responses or just what you sent outbound wise, possibly. So going over these two here, under date sent, you have to format it. I believe it's month, day, year. I could be mistaken on that. You might want to refer to the LAML docs for the formatting. I will figure that out, and I will go to because I haven't looked at this in a couple of weeks, this particular section here. I think it's MM. I think it's like this: DD 1 2 3 4 Y. I think it's like that. I might be mistaken though. It might be different, but it's something like that. So I'll make a note of it in the help tab under the column for these sections here, and then you'll be able to see a tooltip for the format. Besides the time stamping, you can do page size, and this works just like the other things I was showing you for list calls and all calls, where you can just put a straight number. So you can put, say, the number 10, and it'll show you the most recent 10 text messages overall from all your phone number properties. If you were to look at the list number section, it would show you'd have the ability to see the 10 most recent. If you put the number 10 or 11, you'd see 11, 12, you'd see 12. Of the most recent activity in terms of SMS messages for a specific number. So a number in your system, I believe, search to, yeah. And then you can also send text in this section. And so when you run the export flow, the sends will run. When you run the import flow, then the history of those messages will be populated. Now, let's talk about the export. You already know how the import function works. It's very simple. I can do a demonstration in a minute. I had a special formula created. Well, I shouldn't say had it created. I put some time into creating a formula. I might have talked to somebody to get some help with this one. I don't remember, but there's a tooltip here in not really tooltip. There's just a little help section in the help tab under E.164 append formula. All of the formulas are here for appending. The instructions are at the top, the formulas at the bottom. Sorry, I was confusing myself. It looks like I forgot to delete something. So you can use this formula right here to append a plus symbol to numbers in a larger quantity. So in various capacities for different tabs, you might want to just pull the numbers in E164 format. And if you can do that using a formula a lot easier than you can, say, doing it manually if you wanted to do it that way. And so that's why I provide this. This works. These instructions here explain how you can use these two formulas for the all messages and list messages sections. The N2 and the S2 refer to a specific column, so you need to pay attention how they're used. First of all, the formula looks for the column K. So here's K. And as you can see, I have highlighted the inbound. It's conditionally formatted for that column. And if it says inbound, then it will add a plus symbol to a number pulled from a specific column. And you don't have to, all you have to do to add this formula is, let me show you. So if I received a phone call from, or not a phone call, a text message inbound, then it will be in this in column. And that text message is being sent to this S column. These are my numbers, or the properties of my numbers when they are inbound. So the formula looks for inbound received text messages, basically to our phone numbers. And then you can say, okay, well, you want the in column to actually be, the in column formula to be under the send to section. So if I paste this here, it'll be invisible because it doesn't apply, because this particular direction is outbound, it's not inbound. But what you want to do is then select that cell, hold shift, and then click down, and then press Control D, and it will automatically fill out the inbound phone numbers. So I'm sorry if that's really confusing. Basically, it means that if you're looking at all your messages, let's say you're looking at your 50 most recent messages, and you just wanted to look at what were the text messages that my phone numbers received so that I can reply to them. Well, basically, you can use these formulas, the N in this column, so here's the N1, and then the S version in this column. So the S to the from, the N to the to. I just need to emphasize that because it won't work properly otherwise. You could drag them down, 50 numbers, and then you could just scroll down and look, okay, what did this person send me? Okay, they said help. This person said, what's that for? This person said, thanks for calling. Can I help you with the text instead? And that was some sort of glitch in my configuration, so that's a whole long story. Most of these are tests, of course. And here's some tests that I sent myself, outbound tests, just to make sure things were working. The point is that using the all messages section and the list messages section, you can retrieve a history of text messages to a particular number in your system, and at the same time, you can read those messages from the same panel, and you can respond to those messages from the same panel. All you have to do, once that formula is input there, all you have to do is just type your message. Yes, sir. Sounds good to me. Hood to me. Sounds hood to me. And so on and so forth. I'm not going to submit these because I don't even know. I think some of these are accidental strangers. Long story. But yeah, that's the whole purpose of the mix of these two systems. So it's pretty powerful. Now you could, you could set it up to where your XML instructions on your phone numbers allowed those to be forwarded to, say, a mobile number. If you received a text message, then you could forward those text messages to, your Google Voice number or something like that, and then you could reply to those, from your Google Voice or your Mighty Text interface or whatever you want to use. You could do that, but you're still going to have to spend credits to forward those texts. And you don't necessarily know how many texts you're going to receive to a particular number, or if they'll stop sending texts. So it's up to you, really. I mean, I don't know how much money you'd spend. I made the decision to just kind of to add the option to manage all your phone numbers texts from one interface. Okay, So you could do that from all messages. You can do that from list messages. Now let me list a message here. I will list. Let's see. Let me grab my number here, one of my numbers, and then I will go. Let's see if I can send myself. Let's do page size 5. Let's go search to apostrophe +1 this. Oh, looks like I didn't need to do +1. Should do apostrophe plus because I copied it a second ago. And then we'll go. Excuse me. So I'm going to import this. Let me go ahead and import this and just see what kind of comes up here, just for the sake of an example. So that should refresh in a moment here. There we go. So I guess there haven't even been that many texts to that number yet. But and someone sent me this media tab, by the way, this column. This is a MMS. So someone sent images. I have not included in the API a means to interpret images. It's in there, or I haven't included in the app the way to do that. It's in the API, but it's just an extra section that I just didn't care about. So it's up to you if you want to add that. Now we could go, let me do a test here for you just so that you can see how this works. So I'll go send from here. And again, remember that you can use those formulas if you wanted to do it in another fashion. I'm going to send to my Google Voice number. I may not get it on my phone, but a noise should, you should hear a noise. And then I'll say Cabble Babble. And let's run that. Looks like it's finished. So we'll wait for that to refresh. Let me check. So it did send properly, but I guess I needed to refresh my voice tab, and that's why a sound didn't go off. But I can't show it because there's a lot of sensitive phone information in there. I don't want to show that. But I'll go ahead and run a second test. Let's go to the all messages tab here, and we'll do page size 5. And we will also do. So when I run this, I'm going to do an import and an export at the same time, and then you'll be able to see. Or one and then the other, you'll be able to see it. So I'm going to go send, at the same time, I'm also going to send, let's see, let's do it like this. There we go. Send from here, and I'm going to send to my personal cell here this time. Please don't call my personal cell. But you're welcome to call my business cell. Okay, send to here, and I'll say doggle foggle. And we will be able to see the Cabble Babble one we did a second ago, or whatever it was called. So and you heard the sound. So I'll go ahead and show you. I already did this in another video, but I'll just go ahead and show you that it indeed worked. Doggle foggle. And mine I got my debugging thing is like a single flow, so I don't have to run them. But in order to get it to work properly, I have to delete the fields to do the import. So long story long. Let me check something. Actually, let's make sure that this. Oh, I gotta put 5 here. Sorry, my bad. Let's refresh this. There we go. So then it properly did the error handling, and now you can see cabble, babble, doggle, foggle right there. Those are the last 5 things that occurred, whether they're outbound or inbound, it doesn't matter. Let me go ahead and send one more just to make sure that that's working properly, because I kind of confused myself a little bit there with something, and I haven't looked at this in a minute. Let's go 817-247-6202, and we'll say VVV Vider, and let's see how this processes. There we go. Yeah, so you'll have to run them back to back. So you'll export, and then you'll have to import again. You can't really do them. You could do them at the same time, but it could create problems if you were just trying to. You'd waste credits basically. Anyways, I just got that text message. Let's run one more test, and we'll do the create messages section. I know this is way longer than I really planned on this video being. But this is, to me, this is the most important section of the whole app. So send from to body, it's all export, and it works just like all the rest of it. And then, of course, the idea is that you can create big, long lists. So I'm from this number in my system to a big old list of numbers from someplace, and then all the stuff you want to say. So really simple. I'm not going to test it. The sections I just demonstrated work the exact same way. But that's it. I appreciate you watching, and I will catch you in the next video. See ya.